I am a very flawed person. I'm not very disciplined. My sleep schedule's a mess. I watch too much YouTube. I struggle to focus on tasks for extended periods of time. And the reason I'm telling you this is because I want to continue to be very transparent about who I am. I don't want there to be a difference between who I portray myself as and who I actually am, because I realised that while I was reviewing videos of myself, I was acting like a 10 out of 10 version of myself, or in my head, the 10 out of 10 version of myself at the minute. And I was saying all these things, I was acting in the way that I think the best version of myself is. And obviously that is how you get to that level. But I also realised that it makes it seem like I've already got everything together. I'm already the person that I want to be, and I'm definitely not. Obviously not with money, which is, or business, which is, I was very clear about, but I then realised that I wasn't very clear about who I was at the minute. So this is what this video is. It's sort of a, not wipe the slate clean, more take the filter off, so you can see who I actually am, because I don't want there to be any disconnect between me in a video and me in real life. So if someone were to come up to me, they would not be able to distinguish a difference. I would be the same person, because I am the same person. And the other thing that I want to talk about is that I have this fear that I am weak, that I'm lazy. And I don't even know if I would call it fear, because I'm not afraid of it. It's sort of an observation that I've picked up about myself, but it's really hard to articulate the way my brain is processing that. So for the purposes of this conversation, it's fear. And the reason I'm afraid of being lazy or being weak is because one of the qualities that I most admire in everybody else is that the ability to do hard work for long periods of time and not complain and not give up and not have to take a million rest days. That's a quality that I really admire in other people. And I realised that that's not a quality that I thought I had. And the reason I'm afraid of this is because I think I could handle if my business failed because of my inexperience. I think I could handle if my business failed because the economy was rubbish, or the market I went into was oversaturated, or some other factor. I would still blame myself, but at least I would have some peace knowing that the reason I failed was not ultimately in my control. The thing that I wouldn't be able to handle is if I failed because I was lazy and I didn't put the work in, and I slacked off, and I took days off when I didn't need to take days off. And the reason I had this concern is because I have proof that this is what I will revert to in times of hard work. Because it's exam season, I've one exam left at the time of recording, and throughout all of my exams, I have taken days off when I didn't need to take days off. I have wasted an unbelievable amount of time on YouTube watching educational videos, which are and you'll be able to spot them because I'm going to describe them to you and you'll be able to spot them. It's things that have a catchy title or a thumbnail that you think is going to improve your life, like, oh, these productivity hacks will change the way you see the world. Those kinds of videos that look like productive YouTube, but are actually mainly a source of entertainment. And then when I started to dig a little deeper, I also realised it was because I don't really have to try education-wise. This is going to sound very arrogant, but I've never struggled with school. I never struggled to get good grades. I never struggled with exams. I know people that have to revise for weeks on end. Every single one of my GCSEs has pretty much been a day before or a night before revision session for maximum 5 hours, and I've got an A. I've got A's in all of my subjects doing that for years now. So I have this predisposition that I don't need to work as hard as everyone else to achieve the same as everyone else. Even in my head, when I know that I need to work so much harder than I am. And I'm concerned that this will flow through into my business, and I think that I don't need to work as hard as my competitors or as anyone else to achieve the same level of output. And I think I have this unrealistic expectation of what hard work is, or what it feels like to work hard, because I've never had to up until this point, and that does scare me. And one of my concerns in making this video actually is that I'm going to come across unrelatable to everyone else, because 99% of the population has to try really hard to get good results. And I was thinking about this, and then I was kind of going back and forth of whether to post this or not, but I wanted to keep my transparency of always being honest with you guys, and always saying exactly how I'm feeling and how I'm acting and what I'm doing, and not try and have this filter of the ideal teenager or the ideal young entrepreneur. So what was amusing to me as well is that in this context, relatable means you relate to me, not I relate to you, because I cannot control how you respond once you see this video. It's not in a real life conversation where I say something and you say something and then I respond, and then we get feedback from each other, and then I can relate to you and you can relate to me. It's very much one way. And then I realised that instead of trying to be relatable in the terms of, oh, I'm the same as you, it should be, I'm this person. If there's any similarity from me to you, you can find a link instead of me trying to force a link. That's why a lot of the success stories are flooded with, I struggled in school, the education system failed me, the school system's broken. And while yes, I do agree that the school system's broken, there's a whole bunch of issues. There are not many transferable skills. I'm not going to get into it now, but I do agree with those people that the education system does need to be changed. At the same time, I'm quite good at playing the game. I'm quite good at playing by the rules of the system in a way that gets me an outcome that I want. There is no point in me wearing this mask that says, oh, I'm bad at school, and then it turns out like 3 years down the road, oh, he actually got A's in all of his subjects. I've said this before and I'll say it again. There is no point in pretending to be someone you're not. There's no point in wearing a mask that you think will appeal to other people. You should 100% be who you actually are, and then the people that actually like you for who you are will be attracted to you, and the people that don't like you for who you actually are probably, they'll not like you, but they're not going to hate you, they're not going to distrust you. Whereas if you wear a mask and you pretend to be someone you're not and try to appeal to people in a version of yourself that's not real, eventually when the mask gets taken off, and it always does eventually, then people see who you really are. And instead of people seeing you for the first time, not really liking you, and that being that, it's people have trusted you for years, and now all of a sudden you've gone and lied to them, and so you've immediately become untrustworthy, which is a very, very hard trait or characteristic that other people pin on you. It's a very hard one to lose. So yeah, if you yourself are thinking of starting YouTube or thinking about posting your journey, which I would highly recommend, because it is, believe it or not, it's quite enjoyable to document everything you're doing and the progress that you're making, because you get this sense of, oh, I can look back in 10 years and see where I am, or I see where I was. So yeah, I would recommend staying as far away as you possibly can from pretending to be an expert at business when you've never in your life started a business before. And don't come in with fake energy either. That tends to put people off a little bit. And as a final note for this section, just as many people, if not more, have succeeded that did well in school, that went to university, that went to college, that got a good job. Just as many people got there, quit, and then started a business. The media just heavily favours the left school at nothing at 16 and the stakes were high, because that is a more appealing storyline. No one watches the movie about the guy that gets the boring office job. Everyone wants to watch about the person that lost everything and to build themselves back up. Back to the fear that I'm weak and that I'm lazy. going over it and over it and over again, playing it back in my mind, worrying about it, that is not helpful at all. I don't need to entertain myself with this what if storyline. I need to start doing practical actions that will prove to myself that I'm not lazy and that I'm not weak. Because I have realised that I've not actually been tested yet. I have not had a chance to see whether or not I am weak or I am disciplined or I've not had a chance to really, I've not had a stretch of open road to really gun the motor and see how fast I can go. Because it's all been turns up until this point. There's been roadworks, there's been everything. And so I don't know how fast I really can go. And the best practical advice that I can give to anyone else that has the fear that they may be something that they don't like or that they are something that they don't like is stop going over it. Going over it again and again in your head is not going to change. Saying, "Oh, this habit's so bad. I really need to break this. This is really holding me back." Saying those sorts of things are not going to get you anywhere. What you should start to do is break down. Well, number one, what's your habit? So, or what's your attribute that you'd like to lose? Well, you're lazy. Okay. So, what are the lazy is a very umbrella term. It's not one thing that makes you lazy. It's a whole bunch of things. So you break down what are the attributes that make me think I'm a lazy person. Okay, well, I lie in a lot. Okay, start getting up early. Set an alarm for going to bed or getting up. Okay, well, I waste too much time on YouTube. Well, okay, cut back on your screen time. Monitor when you're on the app. Turn your phone to black and white mode. That really helps. I put half effort in or a quarter effort in for everything that I do. Okay, well, start to, instead of filling your time with 6 or 7 different goals, just pick one and focus on that, and then you've no option but to go all in on one goal. Make it as easy as possible to not do the actions that you think are correlating to you thinking that you're lazy. It's more about changing the factors in your environment that will make it as frictionless as possible for you to not act or act in the way that you want to be acting. And yeah, so there were some personal examples in there. I personally, again with the effort thing, I constantly have this feeling that I'm operating at like 10% power. And I have a whole 90% more the effort that I can put in, and I choose not to. Because I very rarely feel burnt out. I very rarely feel that, oh, I should, I physically can't go on. I've not really had that feeling ever. And I really want to see just how much I can do, because at the minute I'm feeling like I'm at 10% effort. I'm at 10% work. And it could turn out that I'm at 50% work, or it could turn out I'm at 1% work. And the only way for me to know where I actually sit is to push it to the limit or very, very close to. And that's what I'll be working on over the next couple of months, over the next year, is to ensure that when I'm doing work, I go all in as much as I physically can. I don't want to be finishing days where I'm like, I could have gone for another 6 hours. And again, if I talk about revision again, just because it's something that's on my mind, because it's what I'm doing, I constantly feel like, oh, I've got like another, I could have done 10 more hours. I could have done, 6 more hours worth of revision on this particular subject, but I know it well enough. And it's the marginal difference between putting as much effort as needed into it to achieve the goal that you want, and putting as much effort as you physically can into it, irrelevant of the goal. And I have talked about this before with the, it's about the inputs, not the outputs. So it's not about the end goal. It's about the actions that you take. Those are the cornerstone of what's going to make you feel most fulfilled, not the stuff on the other side. So yes, I'm probably going to get all A's in my exams, but it's not going to feel gratifying because I know I had so much more left. So another thing that I'm trying to train into myself is doing more work when people aren't watching than when people are watching. So it's very, very easy to do work when there's someone beside you screaming, one more rep, one more rep. It's very motivating to do that. What's very difficult to do is when you yourself are done, you're almost at capacity, and you're just, you know what? No one will know. That's very, very dangerous and self-destructive if the effort you put in alone is not the same as when people are watching. So not only did I start this channel to document my journey, share my knowledge and inspire others, and to also grow an organic awareness of my business. In a way, I've kind of cheated this step by creating a YouTube channel, because I've now got like 50 people that are always watching me, and they're always going to know if I slack off, and they're always going to push me to achieve more. And it's beginning to become a competition. Okay, well, no one's watching, I've really got to try now. Instead of no one's watching, I can ease up a bit. This is a fact that I literally found out 2 days ago. That's actually brought me a lot of peace. This is going to sound so stupid. If you don't know what this is, look it up. So bees have what's called a wiggle dance, which is basically their way of communicating that this is where all the flowers are, this is where all the nectar is, this is the way you should go to find it. And 90% of all bees will follow the wiggle dance. But 10% of them, regardless of whether there's flowers there or not, will not follow the wiggle dance. They like, yep, I see you, cool, I'm not going to do that. And they will go off in their own random direction. And you can probably understand why this is, because if all of the bees find all the flowers in the local area, then eventually they're going to run out of pollen and they're going to starve. So if you have then the 10% of bees that will go randomly in their own path, their own direction, those bees will then sometimes come back with nothing, and other times come back with a new field of flowers. And you can probably see where I'm going with this, but the exact same logic applies to humans, because this is actually not a mutation, not random chance. This is actually genetically coded into you that 10% will do something completely different to the other 90%. Now, it's a little lower for humans. It's something like 5% or 7%, but the basis is the exact same. So it is comforting to know that in a group of 100 people, 5 to 7 people will come up with a completely different solution to your problem. It might not be right, but it will be different, which is the entire point. And this is really nice, because it means that it's not a flaw, it's not a defect, it's not something wrong with you. It's actually naturally coded into you to be different from other people. And it's really helpful, especially if you're someone that thinks, why am I so different? Why am I not the same as everyone else? Why can't I be normal? Is because you were made by random chance to be different from everyone else. You were made to not follow what everyone else is doing, regardless of whether it's a good idea or not, and go and do your own thing. Which means you also have a chance to find a hell of a lot more than anyone else ever can. And this is incredibly helpful, especially if you're someone which has problems fitting in with other people. Like, you see the world differently to how they see it. It's very draining on you to try and explain the way you see it when no one else seems to understand. And it makes, even though I don't really have this, oh, I don't fit in with anyone else, and I guess not. Thinking on it, I guess I don't really fit in with many other people, but I'm okay with that, because I know that the path that I'm on allows for very few people to come with me. So I have made my peace with that. But for anyone that is still struggling, to come to terms with the fact that regardless of what you do, you're embedded within your nature, you're going to be different. Just know that that's natural, that's by design, and that there are still 5 other people that understand the way you think. What's also cool about that is you're much more likely to form much closer friendships with them, because you both think differently the same way. One last thing before you go. One of the most common questions I get asked is, what business are you going into, or what's your business idea? I genuinely have no idea. You guys seem to think that I'm some sort of business guru. You keep asking me like, oh, what business are you going into? Or someone even asked me right at the start, oh, have you any tips for, beginners starting a business? I don't know. I'm as pretty much as new to this as you are. I genuinely have no idea what I want to do. I'm thinking something with AI. I'm thinking something with social media marketing, maybe an agency. Honestly, I don't know. But I do appreciate the interest, but I honestly have no clue. This is I'm not there yet, guys. But yeah, if you have any advice or ideas, I would welcome them. It's because honestly, I'm still very indecisive about what I'm doing. But anyway, I digress. Thank you very much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed, and I really, really hope that I improved someone's day with this video. I'll see you next time.